All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game, Happy versus Life. This game taking place here on Echo Isle version 2.2. Let's go ahead and get straight into the action here. Altar of Elders, Moonwell, and an Ancient of War coming in from Life, spawning as the blue Night Elf on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Happy opening things up. Altar of Darkness, Crypt, Ziggurat, Tomb of Relics, and it will be a Death Knight, as he spawns as the yellow undead player. Demon Hunter versus Death Knight, pretty much a classic matchup here on Echo Isle, as the Demon Hunter does have, well, the right toolkit to deal with the very annoying spells and the hero nuking abilities of the undead. It really will come down to how effective that mana burn is going to be at keeping that Death Knight and that Lich in check. However, later on, it becomes much more difficult as the mana pools just continue to get greater and greater. First things first, ensnare onto a low hit point ghoul. You see two acolytes already over, and Happy is really looking to set up an expansion here. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter has turned on Immolation, going after a couple of units here, as one ghoul does get taken out by the creeps. Death Knight now pretty much low on mana. There's a couple of low hit point acolytes. There's a little bit more Immolation, as we're going to be looking at a deny once more by the Death Knight. Some beautiful play all the way around. Wisp trying to perhaps get off a detonation, remove some of that blight here, but it doesn't look like that will work out well. Meanwhile, the Death Knight now coming back around. There's a quick cancellation there. Skeletal Minion's going to finish off. There's a detonation as the Demon Hunter tries to take down this Ziggurat. All right, Happy sitting at level 1. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter also sitting at level 1. About the same amount of experience. The Forest Troll Trapper is not going after the Ziggurat, though. So there is still two relatively high damaging creeps off on the side. Demon Hunter continuing to test the waters, dancing back and forth. That Wisp not going to be able to get off a decent detonation, as the Ziggurat is now, well, providing blight off over here. Forest Troll Trapper will get taken out. This Forest Troll Trapper will get taken out as well. Meanwhile, a Tree of Life by Life. Well, yeah, it took me a second to say that. A Tree of Life by Life, actually close to the mercenary camp here, so perhaps going to try and tank a little bit of damage. No, not going to even do that. Just aggroing, pulling away, going to grab a Forest Troll Shadow Priest and that Forest Troll Berserker. Two very high DPS, high priority targets, as the Demon Hunter now goes after this 3-1-1 creep camp. All right, there should be plenty of damage output by this Night Elf army now, especially with those two additional mercenaries, 28 to 37 damage. Yeah, quite much on the high side. When you take a look at things at the Skeletal Warrior here, going to get cleaned up. Now, what is the plan? It looks like Happy is going to be able to get up on two bases quickly. You can see that that earlier Altar of Darkness was unsummoned, and that's all part of the plan for Undead. He's trying to, well, set up that expansion earlier, get more gold out, and then resummon up that Altar of Darkness later. But that does become a little bit of a problem here, as the Ghoul now trying to back away once more. Meanwhile, Tree of Life is off on the side here. Is he going to be able to root? This is going to be a little bit of a problem. That is a lot of ghouls. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, and Archers are now coming over. Demon Hunter now going to try to come back around. Are we going to see Immolation? Yes, there's Immolation on a surround onto that Demon Hunter, and suddenly those ghouls realize it is hazardous to your health to be standing that close to a Demon Hunter that has Immolation active. Meanwhile, off to the north here, Death Knight may try and get a Death Coil off onto another low hit point. Are we going to see another round of Immolation? Yes, we are. That is going to be quite a bit of damage here, as the Ancient of War also joining in on the war efforts. Ancient of War, 30 over 40 supply. Showing 30 over 40 supply here, as we're looking at a couple of ghouls trying to retreat back. As that Tree of Life makes that slow trek to the southern side, and if the Demon Hunter gets to level goodbye mana, yeah, gets another level goodbye mana. Demon Hunter is now sitting at level 2, and he does go for mana burn. And are we going to see a mana burn here? The Death Knight now trying to get a little bit closer. The Demon Hunter should be going for a mana burn. There's that mana burn, and there's the deny, as now Immolation could be used here. Don't know why he didn't use Immolation earlier. He really needs that Immolation now. Going to go ahead and use that Staff of Teleportation to head back out. If he had used Immolation earlier, he would have dealt quite a bit of damage, more damage than anything else here, as the Tree of Life now is still absorbing quite a bit of damage here. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter now heading back to the south, trying to regroup, going to pick up perhaps the Gloves of Haste. And now with that, I'm going to try and clear up this position here. Death Knight once more getting mana burn, and this is all of that keeping mana in check once more. Skeletal minions trying to take down the entangled gold mine, but won't be able to get very far. Meanwhile, the Night Elf army is pretty much, well, caught in a weird spot. They're going to try and engage here, and look at this. They're actually going to try and do a little bit of a stand. Ghouls are going to get taken down. There goes one ghoul already. That archer now trying to retreat back, as we're going to see Naga Sea Witch come online. All right, the sudden appearance of the Naga Sea Witch, another ghoul is going to get taken out, and there you go there. Meanwhile, back on the southern side, the Death Knight will be forced to fall back again. All right. Demon Hunter, is it going to get to level 3? I do believe so. Level 3 on the Demon Hunter. Are we looking at level 2 mana burn? Difficult to say. Hasn't trained that ability yet. Meanwhile, the Naga Sea Witch off to the north, Life already in position with that Ancient of War to absorb some of that damage, as we see the skeletal minions scouting out and now taking and looking at a Tree of Ages coming online. Ogre Magi gets taken down one, a mana stealing not the item he's looking for. Death Knight is invisible and pretty much, well, really wanted to take the item, but can't do that. Now the Death Knight is still looking to retreat back. Level 3, level 2, Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 2 here. Fork Lightning now available, meaning low hit point ghouls, if they try and do hit and runs, will just end up getting forked down. Now, remember, behind all of this, Happy does have an experience, or does have the economic advantage, as he has been able to mine more gold out of that gold mine, and we are still waiting to see Life get full saturation here. 36 supply compared to 43, as a battle now raging inside the base here. Another mana burn, and Happy has been unable to get off death coils fairly consistently. You can see always down to about 74 mana, as we see Forest Troll Shadow Priest getting cleaned up here. That is a lot of ghouls to try and deal with, and with the sudden appearance of the Lich, the Death Knight, well, the Demon Hunter and the Naga Sea Witch both agree it is time to retreat back home. Life is sitting on a fair amount of gold, 600, and is waiting for these Ancients of Lore to come online to start cranking out units, as we see the Tree of Ages nearly done upgrading. All right, Mud Golem there. Ancient of War continuing to tank damage, and this is just great pacing by Life. Life has been able to use a Tree of Life, Ancient of Wars, to consistently clear out difficult creep camps by having the Ancient of War and these Ancients tank the damage, and thereby mitigating the damage on the actual units. 49 supply compared to 45, but Life is already at tier 3. Meanwhile, we are nearly at tier 3. Well, both sides now nearly at tier 3, as we are looking at more Druids of the Claw getting trained up for the battlefield. Level 3, level 1. Death Knight now trying to fall back here. Creeps on the map are, well, falling relatively quickly. We're going to be looking at a skeletal minion getting cleaned up there, as the Demon Hunter transfers some item, picks up Boots of Speed. Naga Sea Witch is the one with the Scroll of Town Portal now, as the Demon Hunter clearing out this 3-3-2 or 3-2-2-1 creep camp here. The Naga Sea Witch, I don't believe will get to level 3. Gonna be a little bit shy. Demon Hunter perhaps could have backed off, as we still see skeletal minions continuing to light up the minimap and do a little bit of scouting. Now, yeah, Mana Burn is badly designed skill. Feels like playing against Demon Hunter is like, yeah, well, remember, back in the day, Demon Hunter was a 100, 200, 300 skill set, and it was just absolutely devastating trying to play any type of hero when the Demon Hunter could easily just mana burn and shut down enemy heroes. constantly trying to play against here. All right, Obsidian Statue, Slaughterhouse perhaps on the southern side, yeah, trying to make its way forward. We see another mana burn there, and that Obsidian Statue, one more shot. Naga Sea Witch gets to level 3, Death Knight unable to save. There's another mana burn there, and level 2 mana burn, dealing 100 or removing 100 points of mana. Such a big swing, as the Demon Hunter could be in a little bit of trouble, going to be forced to use a Staff of Teleportation to get away. Yeah. For all you guys out there, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Make sure to like the video, comment, do all of that social media stuff. Still trying to get back up to 1,000 views per video. I think that's pretty much the floor that I want. If I can get 1,000 views per video, well, I can keep the lights on, or justify me waking up at 5:30 in the morning to get in a little bit of casting before I tackle my day with my children. Anyways, coming back on through, Renegade Wizard gonna get cleaned up here. Demon Hunter going after the Kobold Geomancer. That's gonna get cleaned up again. All right, at this point and stage in the game, a third hero, Naga Sea Witch, being picked up by Happy. No Silence, no Dark Ranger, so that is an interesting call, especially since the Death Knight cannot easily heal that Naga Sea Witch. We are going to be looking at Cold Arrows, and it does feel like we're going to be exchanging Fork Lightnings going back and forth. Level 2 Fork Lightning, so dual level 3 heroes going up against a 3-2-1. Demon Hunter, is he going to try and get in a little bit of damage? Could have used that Orb of Venom to attack those destroyers. Remember, the Demon Hunter is considered a ranged hero against air units when he has that Orb of Venom. Meanwhile, Wand of Illusion there, well, low hit point due to the claw, able to escape away. There's a mana burn there, and that's one way to counteract mana burn. Just give multiple targets, making it difficult to figure out which one is the right one. There is a Staff of Preservation. Are we going to see it on that Druid of the Claw? Life needs to save that Druid of the Claw if he wants to minimize the hero level experience for the Undead, but no, Undead able to continue to push forward, but the Naga Sea Witch now also going to be in a little bit of trouble. Dryad getting taken down by these Crypt Fiends as the Destroyers are trying to finish off other units. There's a Scroll of Town Portal, there's that level up, and suddenly Happy is at dual level 3s, and now, well, trying to fight another fight here. There's a mana burn, and wow, Naga Sea Witch does end up getting finally taken down by a Dryad spear or javelin in the back. More fighting underway. Naga Sea Witch sitting at level 3. Are we going to perhaps be actually looking at Mana Shield as the Ancient of War now making its way back as well? There's a Dust of Appearance. There's Fork Lightning coming back across here. Damage being dealt across. There goes another Crypt Fiend. That burrowing Crypt Fiend unable to stay alive. And now a Lich going to get taken down. What is happening here? Naga Sea Witch, dangerously low on hit points, is going to get taken down as well, as both sides are just falling. But the Demon Hunter gets to level 5 first. All right, continuing this battle once more. Dryads going after these Crypt Fiends. Are we going to see another burrow? We do, and no more Dust of Appearance, as we're looking at, well, Dryad just continuing to move back around here. All right, more Obsidian Statues losing a lot of mana as the, well, burrowing Crypt Fiends just trying to play a game of whack-a-mole. There is another round there as Destroyers now making their way through. Dryads getting, well, absolutely torn apart by these Crypt Fiends as we're looking at a Lich getting taken out again. Naga Sea Witch gets resurrected back in the center portion of the map, and now we're looking at the Dryads trying to go after the Crypt Fiends. Dryad prancing away. There goes another Crypt Fiend, not going to be able to bury its head in the sand, and, well, one double backing Crypt Fiend doesn't look like it's going to be able to stay alive either. Demon Hunter now nearly halfway to level, level 5, or excuse me, level 6. There's a Dust of Appearance. Crypt Fiend still buried its head in the sand there, as one Crypt Fiend going to get taken down. This one, well, not going to be able to survive either, as the Demon Hunter is now at 5.5. Death Knight sitting at level 4, and really the Demon Hunter keeping mana in check has been the name of the game. Demon Hunter keeping that Death Knight and that Lich from really doing its thing has been the major problem, and it has prevented Happy from really gaining any momentum in these battles. However, the Druids of the Claw losses meant that the Death Knight did get to level 4 and the Lich did get to level 3. However, Happy did feed a bit of experience back, resurrecting at the tavern, only to, well, bring in a half hit point Lich into the fight. All right, going into the battle here, gargoyles are out. Death Coil hitting the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter now trying to retreat back here. We can see that there is a slaughterhouse cranking out some units. There's a Druid of the Claw transforming back into that, well, let's just say beast mode. All right, back off to the north here. Demon Hunter hanging back, does have about 15 armor. Very difficult to try and take down a 15 armor unit, especially one that has evasion on top of that. What is that? 6 times 15? What, 90% more effective hit points, add in the evasion, and well, aside from the spells, it's going to be difficult to try and finish it off. Yeah, beast mode activated. Coming back through, Naga Sea Witch continuing to clear out creep camps. Looks like she will get level 5, so dual level 5 heroes now for life. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter wants to try and keep his opponent, keep Happy off of his game, but Happy is looking fairly strong too, as the Naga Sea Witch now clearing out the remainder of this giant sea turtle and gargantuan sea turtle creep camp. Death Knight at 4, Lich is at 3, Lich also with plus 20 attack and Gloves of Haste. That Orb of Corruption will be applied to multiple targets, and that Lich's auto attack, nothing to sneeze at. Yeah. Interestingly enough, though, we are looking at Druids of the Talon joining in on the fight. They do have adept training, so they will be able to take to the skies, and because the Druids of the Talon now have a ranged piercing damage, they are fairly effective against destroyers. We also see that there are hippogriffs here. The problem now also, however, is that their destroyers are going to be able to devour that roar. So it's really going to come down to micro and execution, as the Naga Sea Witch and Demon Hunter now making their way back off. Quick question for you. So can you cast the KK platform replays now? Or no, I don't know how to cast the KK platform replays yet. And maybe if I actually spent some time researching it, I could do it, but there's so much on my plate to do, including looking for new employment opportunities still. All right. Demon Hunter, dual, Orb of Venom, Slippers of Agility, plus attack damage. Still coming on through. Obsidian statues hanging out in the back. You can see Happy and Life, both sides are sitting at the upper echelons of low upkeep. As we see another Frost Nova go down. All right, Death Coil, Staff of Preservation for the save. There's a mana burn. So how is that? Death Coil, Frost Nova, only to see a Staff of Preservation bring that Hippogriff all the way back home. Naga Sea Witch could have used a Fork Lightning as well. Gargoyle trying to make its way over. As we see, yes, the reason why I like Echo Isle 2.2 that much more, that 5th base. An odd number of gold mines on this base actually means that it is worth venturing forth instead of just turtling in your base and having home field advantage. Destroyer now looking to retreat back here. Naga Sea Witch also back here as well. We see Life actually breaking into high upkeep. I don't actually recommend this, though, as suddenly you go from 14 gold a second down to 8 off of 2 bases. And, well, we're going to be looking at Happy just filling out his item slots. This is one of the downsides for Life. You can see Life only has 2 heroes, so he is actually down 6 item spaces. You can see the 6 item slots here, the additional item slots here, so Happy can continue to just buy powerful items for now before actually breaking into high upkeep. All right, entangling that gold mine. This gold mine has about 2.5 minutes of mining left. Naga Sea Witch back across here, perhaps moving 2 or 3 wisps over, or wisp already being rotated over here, as Happy is staying inside his base a little bit too much. Happy getting up a third or second Necropolis at his expansion. Not quite sure what that is about. Perhaps being short on lumber, but wanting to break into upkeep, as we see as we break into upkeep here. All right, Sacrificial Pit will get added in. Altar of Darkness now getting unsummoned, returning back a little bit of gold. And Well, Happy is sitting at 80 over 90 compared to Life's 94 over 100 with nearly a fully saturated gold mine as those 5 wisps lie in waiting. All right. These wisps will just jump off over here and then rotate into the lumber line or the tree line as the gargoyles still, well, taking to the skies and hanging back. Old school waiting game. Yeah, no, the old school waiting game doesn't work as well on Echo Isle when there is this 5th gold mine. That 5th gold mine allows you to trade inefficiently. A beautiful Death Frost Nova there, though. Gonna be keeping many of those hippogriffs at bay as a follow-up attack. Is gonna be difficult. A follow-up spell could be the difference. Now remember, having a shade on your opponent's side of the in your opponent's army is a very big deal. It allows you to well, actually click with that Frost Nova when you would normally not be able to, and being able to click on that Frost Nova, that Lich is able to just walk over, use that auto command, do that Frost Nova, and then simply retreat back. And that initial burst of damage could set things in motion, as Life is now sitting at 100 over 100 supply, while Happy's sitting on 80 over 90 with 1,300 gold in the bank. All right, here we are. Here we go into the straight of the action. Are we going to see a roar here? The Druid of the Scroll of Town Portal now retreating back. We don't see a roar. There's that roar. And now in comes the army. All right, Orb of Venom, Fork Lightning there, but that's going to be it. Hippogriffs trying to engage. Dryads continuing the poke, and who's going to come out on top? Scroll of Protection also being used. There's those items that we were talking about. Cyclone also being used as well, as the Destroyers should be devouring magic. All right, we're going to see a couple more Hippogriffs try to dive in. 92 supply compared to 74. 86 compared to 74. Now we see Life losing quite a bit more units since he is the one diving in, but as long as he's trading semi-efficiently, he's gonna be okay. But then you got to take into account all of the taxes as well, as Medusa, or Life now finally out of high upkeep. Now he can trade a little bit, trade without having to worry about the different tax rates, as it is now 2 bases to what will soon be 1, as that haunted gold mine runs out of gold. Orb of Venom trying to get some lasting damage onto those Destroyers. 3-2 upgrades going up against 2-3 upgrades. There's another mana burn onto the Obsidian statues as the Demon Hunter tries to fall back here. Demon Hunter could be in trouble. No, Staff of Preservation for the save. Scroll of Town Portal, and now the units will be falling back here. Gargoyle is trying to dive in, and 1 Hippogriff actually left behind. The Hippogriff should be trying to regroup here. 84 supply compared to 80, and Happy perhaps is just going to head to the southern shop, buy something, buy that Scroll of Protection, buy a Scroll of Healing, and rejoin, and that's how he will be using his gold. Part of the strategy in Warcraft 3 is trying to get as much effective, well, how effective you and how efficient you are spending your gold. Here, Death Knight does pick up a Scroll of Healing. Maybe, perhaps, could have used another Scroll of Protection as well, as we're looking at Life still sitting on 2 bases holding this northern spot. We know that Happy knows about this because a Shade did walk over there earlier before coming back around, but Happy doesn't seem too threatened by that additional base off to the north, surprisingly. All right. Are we going to see one of those classic all-in pushes from Undead where suddenly you get into 100 over 100 supply and have a bunch of Ziggurats unsummoned out on the battlefield? There's a Belt of Giant Strength now on the Death Knight as well. Not quite sure where that item was initially. Lich is sitting at level 3. Naga Sea Witch is sitting at level 3 as well. The auto attack's not hitting nearly as hard. Lich now only at plus 15, as Life is, well, seemingly okay with just trying to mass up, get back up to 100 supply again. The bottom left expansions only have about 3.5 minutes. Happy only has about 1.5 minutes on this bottom right base, and then Happy will be completely out of gold. So it will then soon be 1 base versus 0. All right, we are looking at, well, there is no Nature's Blessing, oddly enough, so there isn't that additional armor bonus onto those Ancients that you would normally see at this stage in the game. Happy now sitting at 95 over 80 supply. He is supply blocked, and now going to be spending a little bit more gold perhaps at the Goblin Merchant Shop, and this is going to be his strategy here. Down to 216 gold, and, well, buying Invul, did he buy an Invul potion? Yes, an Invul potion on the Naga which in comes the battle. School of Protection already being brought through. Dryads, Druids of the Talon now trying to fight from the lower position. Remember, while they are on the ground though, they have magic damage, not piercing. Hippogriffs continue to fight here. Gargoyles able to dive in. 67 supply compared to Happy's 77, and what a big turn of events. Alright, Gargoyles are going to be able to dive in onto all of these units here. The Druids of the Talon, not a good counter to the Gargoyles, as the Dryads are continuing to fall pretty relentlessly. Life down to 50 over 100 supply, and, well, gold is going to be the key now. There's still a little bit of gold mining coming across for life. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter does get up to level 6, and the Demon Hunter does have, well, a little bit of chaos damage. Is he going to be able to finish off some of these units? That's going to be the question. There goes a Gargoyle, there goes another, and he's just trying to splash some damage up onto all of these units again and again. All right, Death Knight now could be in trouble. Death Knight now down to 212 hit points. It does have Frost Armor down to 5 hit points, going to continue to fall. Death Knight could end up falling. No, Potion of Invulnerability transferred as the Naga Sea Witch now trying to get away. Metamorphosis onto the Demon Hunter, coming back down, and we're still looking at more damage. There's a Mana Burn. Naga Sea Witch ends up surviving at the Naga Sea Witch, and the Death Knight both end up surviving sub 100 hit points and being able to live and fight another day. No gold mine for the bottom right there. Life pretty much traded very inefficiently in that spot. Nearly gave the Death Knight level 6, gave the Death Knight and the Naga Sea Witch a bit of a death scare, as we see the Ritual Dagger being used this late in the game. Happy needing to, well, find a way to get some healing back onto these units. The Obsidian statue is pretty much all out of mana, cannot transform into destroyers either, as the Gargoyles are pretty much going unchallenged at this point in the game. Mass Dryads, 2-3 upgrades, that little bit of devotion aura also of great help here, as life can just say, you know what, I know I'm sitting on 2 bases, and I know I'm sitting on this base that still has plenty of gold. The fight needs to be brought to me, and because of the delay, Happy is going to be dealing with a larger army, perhaps being down in supply again. Happy also doesn't have nearly as many item advantage. No Scroll of Protection this time around. Does have a Scroll of Healing, as the Gargoyles are going to be heading off to the north here. 4,400 gold or 4,500 gold has been mined out of this gold mine, and now, well, it doesn't look like life was really looking to protect this spot whatsoever. Wisp perhaps should have been diving out of this position, perhaps try to get some detonations onto the heroes and onto some of these Obsidian statues. Tree of Life is going to easily get shot down here, as the Demon Hunter is perhaps just waiting for time to get his Metamorphosis back online. 10 more seconds for Metamorphosis. Demon Hunter lying in wait, getting ready. Acolytes could try and haunt that gold mine again, as it is now officially 0 bases versus 0 bases. No Nature's Blessing upgrade. 70 over 100 supply. Demon Hunter, Potion of Invulnerability, going to go ahead and try and engage here. No Forked Lightning that I saw. There's that Forked Lightning. There's a Scroll of Healing. Demon Hunter continuing the fight. Should be in Metamorphosis. Not quite sure why he isn't. Going to go ahead and start this fight here, as the Demon Hunter now continuing to just try and take down these units. Gargoyles taking quite a bit of damage. There's another, well, Forked Lightning, and now with a little bit of splash chaos damage going after all of these units, Demon Hunter is going to be able to take things down. Naga Sea Witch going to be very close to level 6 here. More damage can still get racked up. Demon Hunter just trying to walk into position. There's a Death Coil onto a Druid of the Claw in Druid form. Not a very smart position as all as Happy is going to be trying to retreat back. There's a Death Coil onto the Lich, as more damage is still getting racked up. Demon Hunter, well, a third of his time left with that Metamorphosis. Going to try to go after some of these buildings here. Going to continue to try to put in pressure. The Tomb of Relics taking a little bit of damage as the Ziggurat trying to get unsummoned for a little bit more gold. All right, little bit more damage getting added back up. Tomb of Relics now going to be gone. No more gold available. There goes another Druid of the Claw there as the Demon Hunter going to be forced to try and retreat back. 51 supply compared to 52. What is that Demon Hunter doing? There's another big mana burn onto the Death Knight. There's a Staff of Preservation for the save, and I believe that the Death Knight actually used a potion of mana right there to try and get the Death Coil off. All right, little bit of damage. Nagasiwa trying to retreat back here. Are we going to see a Shade? A Demon Hunter going to try and get another mana burn. And there is, well, there was a Cyclone. There's a mana burn. Both sides fighting their way through. Demon Hunter down to 216 hit points. Going to continue to try and fight. There's Nagasiwa getting up to level 6. There's another mana burn, but the Demon Hunter needs to find a way back home. Demon Hunter down to 53 hit points, trying to get away as the Dryads are continuing to poke around as well. As you are chasing after targets, though, well, that means that the other units are dealing quite large amounts of damage here as we see another Cyclone picking up that Death Knight. All right, level 6 now on the Death Knight. Death Knight, is he going to try and go for level 3 Unholy Aura for a little bit better regeneration? Demon Hunter going to come back in on this fight here. Demon Hunter back in the fight, back at full hit points. And that was the game. Life ends up outlasting Happy with the help of that additional resources at that northern base. The amount of gold mined about the same, but it was Life being able to have and stay in high upkeep while engaging that made for some inefficient trades, but still able to get the job done. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.